here we go. So this really could be my last video about semaglutide. We'll see how far I take it, but today I'm talking about semaglutide sickness. Boy, thank the Lord I'm okay. Today is Saturday. It's Saturday, May 11th. And so you guys might remember, if you watched my previous video, I was all excited. I was showing you my 4 milliliter vial of semaglutide, and I don't know what kind of vitamin B or some kind of vitamin B they put in there with the peptide. Yeah, I was excited to start taking it again. Remember last year I took it for, what was it, 8 months? I lost 54 pounds. You know, I got down to the 150s, around my goal weight. I was going to figure out how to level it off, but I needed the money. You know, it can be pricey. The place I go, and I still won't name it, especially since I'm going to tell you the story of their reaction to my sickness. So yeah, it was 400 bucks a month. So I had to take a break. I went off of it around November, sometime November 21st or earlier. And so now, May, I was like, oh, let's go back on it again. It'll be great, you know, getting ready for a cruise, all this stuff next year, and let's trim down again, because once I went off of it, I had, you know, gotten such an appetite back. So I went to the same place locally, like a local doctor, med spa type deal with nurses. They were great. They were very kind last year and everything. So this time I signed back up for the $3.99 per month. I plan to be on it for, I don't know, I was like, as long as I can afford it, maybe I can do it and see how it'll work. Maybe I can taper off of it or just stay on it on a lower dose and, you know, get ready for this cruise next year, get my appetite back under control. Let's see what's happening here. No, it did not work that way. So I picked up my little 4 milliliter vial that I showed you guys. So that was Monday. Monday night, I like to take the injections at night. Monday night, around a little after 9 p.m., I did the 2-5 dose. So if you see the small Botox needles, the smallest dose they recommend you start at is 25. I never remember if it's milliliters or millimeters or whatever the heck it is. So just, you know, talk to your own doctor. Don't follow what I'm saying. I'm going to say be very careful, because I don't want anyone to get as sick as I got. I understood. I saw some people on Facebook in the semaglutide groups I was in. Like, some people are like, oh, I got so sick. I was on my butt the whole day or whole week, or I just couldn't hold anything down. I kept throwing up. And I was like, oh man, that's too bad. I never had that. Last year when I first started taking it, I took the 2-5. That's how I started out last year, because I have the notes in Google Calendar, and I stayed on 2-5 for about 8 weeks. It was very tolerable for me last year. So mind you, the very first time I took it last year, I do remember feeling a little bit nauseated. I remember I was at the park with my friend, and I just snacked on some crackers or something and sniffed on the alcohol pad like they tell you, and it went away. Oh boy, that's not what happened this time. Last year I ramped up from 25 to 50. You know, I was on 25 for like 8 weeks and then just 50 for the rest of the time. So maybe 2 months I was on 25, and the rest of the 3 months I was on 50. I never went higher than 50. I never needed to go up to 1, you know, which would have been the next big dose. Okay, this time the nurse told me, yes, start with 25, because I don't want you to get sick. That's what she said. And I was like, yeah, me either. That sounds like what I plan to do. Just the 25 dose, you know, did it the way I normally do it. And I mean, I do remember I forgot to swipe the alcohol pad across the top of the vial. You know, I'm usually very cautious about that. But I did, you know, alcohol pad, I did it right here, which is where I do it, you know, pull up this little lump of flesh, which I have more now. Before, when I was losing, it was hard to get more flesh. But, you know, after 9 at night, and I was careful, and I even rolled the vial. I don't know if you're supposed to. I refrigerated the vial pretty soon after I got home that day. You know, I recorded a quick video and showed you guys. But, whew, got it out of the fridge, did the soup, alcohol, blah, 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 2-5, boop. And I was like, oh, I was like thinking, oh, I feel so warm and toasty. I started literally, I'm like, is this psychosomatic or what? I started feeling a little warm, and I was like, I'm good. This is cool. It'll be back on, this better eating pattern. It'll be back on my weight loss journey. I'll be getting ready for summer, blah, 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 blah. So I go to sleep, but then I don't know when the queasiness started. It must have started, I don't know if it was 3 a.m., but definitely by 5 a.m., I couldn't take it anymore. I was so nauseated, and I hate that feeling. But I thought, I was so nauseated, it was right before 5 a.m. So this is, 8 hours after the first injection. It was working its way through my system, but I don't know what changed. I don't know what changed about what's in that vial, or changed about me, or what changed about this process, or whatever. It's all a learning lesson here. I got up. I didn't want to wake my husband up, but I got up, and I just kind of like ran to the fridge almost and ripped open those alcohol pads, and I was like waving them, and it helped a little bit, like to get rid of the nausea, and sitting up felt better. So I sat up in our sitting room, blanket wrapped around me. It was kind of cold. I was like, okay, and just praying, like in the dark, and then my husband got up and he's checking on me and everything. And then he leaves for work, and then I move into, I'm almost like sleeping, sitting up, because it was a fitful night of sleep anyway. You can't sleep kind of like when you're feeling nauseated. So I moved to the living room. My dog was there, and I have the blanket wrapped around me, and I'm still sitting up. Meanwhile, 5 a.m. is transpiring. It's almost 8 a.m. Right around 8 a.m., my son leaves for work. I'm still sitting up, falling in and out of sleep, and then I can't hold it in anymore. Puking and puking and puking. Now, granted, I had not been eating clean or great or anything that Monday. I mean, I think I drank a Dr. Pepper, which isn't like me. And, once I went off semaglutide, the floodgates did open. I would eat crap. I'd eat chocolate and candy and chips and all that. So I had all this in my system. So that Monday, taking the shot, and the previous weekend I had champagne. So all these things may have contributed to it, but still, it was violently ill. By 8 a.m. that morning, it was mostly liquids, just liquids, a lot of liquids, just getting so sick. And you know how you kind of feel better when you get sick. So I thought, okay, maybe that's the worst of it. I lay down, try and catch a nap. I DoorDashed some Chick-fil-A for me and my family, because I thought, okay, this is the start of the new eating pattern. You guys remember last year, Chick-fil-A worked really well for me. If I just ate a salad with chicken in it from Chick-fil-A, any one of them, maybe not the spicy ones at first, but any of those pretty worked well for me. I didn't get sick. And I wanted fruit, so I said maybe fruit would work. I didn't even get the yogurt, I just got the fruit cup. So I got DoorDash, after I'd gotten all sick. I got the Chick-fil-A salad. I got a fruit cup from Chick-fil-A. I only ate a small little portion, like teeny little portion, because I wanted to see, can my stomach handle this? The answer was no, it could not. Oh my goodness. I needed fresh air, and I got sick again. I'm getting sick everywhere. In the sink, in the bathtub, it was so scary. My husband was there. He had come home from work. He was trying to help me. I mean, there were several times where I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I'm going to call 911. I couldn't hold down water or any food. Thank the blessed Lord. God is a healer. There's healing in Jesus's wings, let me tell you, because I called on the Lord so much. And so by Tuesday night, finally, I was able to sleep all night without getting sick. And so now today is Saturday, and thank God I haven't gotten sick since. I'm feeling better and better each day, regaining my strength. But I'm looking at that vial right now as poison. It's like poison to me. Gotta take a sip of water. Forgive me for those who hate swallowing sounds, but oh my goodness, I had decided while I was sick, I was like, Paula, remember this feeling? Do not take this stuff ever again. I don't know what went wrong. Yeah, there might have been a lot of contributing factors. I don't know what changed, what happened, whatever. I said, this is it. I can't take this stuff ever again. This is too much stress to put on my body, and it was just too much violent illness. I hate getting sick. But what made me much more disappointed also is the way that the med spa, the nurse and the doctor, reacted. So, mind you, this time, even though there was no commitment that I knew about previously, I was on it 5 months last year and I canceled, no problem. $400 a month, basically. This time, I spent $400 basically. I got this vial and I planned to just stay on it for months and months and months, maybe years, who knows. I had no idea I'd get this sick, so I said, I'm not putting myself through this again. I don't know what could have happened. I didn't want to pass out. I didn't want anything worse to happen. I didn't want my family to have to take me to the hospital, endure all those costs. I know some people do. There's Ozempic overdose. There's, I kept checking. Did I do the dosage right? I know I did. I did this correctly for 5 months last year. I know what I was doing. I checked. I even checked the initial diagram they gave me, and I was like, I didn't overdose myself. I only did 2.5. Anyway, I called the nurse. Well, I texted at first, and I told them I was violently ill. I couldn't keep any food or water down. I don't know what happened. I just want to cancel. And so the nurse calls me, and I was disappointed because the concern was, at first, it seems more of the concern was, well, there's a 3-month minimum because the doctor would lose money basically. I already have this 4 milliliter vial, which I want to get tested to see what the heck is in this one. That's the only reason I'm keeping it right now. But I guess the doctor needs to make at least his $1,200, so maybe that's where the 3-month commitment comes in. He needs to make his $1,200 so he won't lose money. If people were canceling, oh, let me sign up. Oh, no, let me cancel. If they're just signing up just to get a vial that'll last them all summer or something. I don't know. That's not what I was doing. I plan to, just like I did last year, pay them their $400 a month, $349, and then it was $399 per month. And, it worked well. But I was starting to get angry, and I said, well, I understand that. You don't want people scamming you, but I said, I hope the doctor is more concerned about his patient's health than money. And so she kind of we were almost kind of arguing, but still kind of being, nice, nasty to each other. And she said, no, I'm not saying that. I just, because I couldn't find a cancellation form anywhere on their website or anywhere. Usually I found one where I could cancel last time. I hate the places where it's so easy to sign up, and then it's like when you try and cancel, it's like pulling teeth. And so finally she said, I'm not saying that. I just have to get the doctor to sign off on it. And I said, well, I will dispute it with American Express, because if they were going to keep making me pay $1,200 total here for some medicine that I'm not using at all, I already feel like I wasted $400 on this vial with just one little dose I took, which made me violently ill. I already felt like I'm out $400, let alone I'm going to let you charge my Amex another $800 on stuff I'm not using. Honest to God, this stuff made me so sick. This is what really made me angry. She said, the nurse said, the doctor said, oh no, it couldn't be the peptides. The semaglutide is a peptide, which is like, what's her name? Kelly, Sharon Osbourne's daughter, Kelly, how she's like, I'm not taking Ozempic, I'm taking vitamins and peptides. People just try and lie, which Ozempic is semaglutide, and semaglutide is a peptide, and they usually mix it with vitamins. So, same diff. Anyway, my point is, she was like saying, my nurse said, the doctor said, oh, it couldn't be the peptides that made you sick. It was probably, maybe you got a bug, a 24-hour flu. I'm like, come on. What are the chances that right after I give myself this injection, hours later, I become violently ill, very, very sick? And he wouldn't even entertain the fact that it could have been semaglutide. And that's what made me very angry, because even though she said, oh, he says we've had, he has hundreds of patients, and hundreds of patients, I've never seen anyone, she's never heard of like my symptoms, which they're all over the net. I had the same symptoms some people get after taking semaglutide. Violent illness, throwing up, throwing up, throwing up. You can't keep down water or food. You're kind of feverish, but you're kind of chills, but sweaty. So it goes and comes, like that type of feeling, very dog tired. I've seen many people have those symptoms online. But this doctor, this distributor of semaglutide, acts like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never had that experience. As if he's just afraid of medical malpractice. Like, I'm not going to sue him. I don't plan on suing this place. It was just, I don't know what happened. I just wanted to get out of the contract. But that was very disappointing. That I don't know, they didn't show the bedside manner that you would expect. Like, okay, they may have said, yeah, I'm sorry this happened to you. But immediately it was kind of like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard those symptoms before. Thank the Lord, they let me cancel. They let me get out of the contract, and fine, I'll just pay the $3.99 already I paid. But it was very disappointing. And so that's why I'm on here warning you. Anybody I've encouraged to get on semaglutide, I'm just going to say be very, very cautious. Not everyone will have this reaction that I had the second go-round. Maybe it's something about the second go-round. Maybe it's something about going off of it and coming back on it. I have no idea. It's not that new. I mean, people have been taking semaglutide for years. It's just very, very popular. So, you know how Oprah apologized for her role in the diet culture? I guess this is my video. I am apologizing for anybody who I've encouraged to take this stuff and it's made you as sick as it made me. I mean, I feel like I wish I've recommended this med spa to so many people because I thought they were so cool and it really worked for me. So I feel like going back and trying to find every single person I've ever tried to encourage to go there. Do it at your own risk. I mean, even at my eye doctor, I was talking to the woman. She's like, are you on any medications? And I'm like, well, not yet, but I plan to take semaglutide again. And she's like, what? And most people here, it's a weight loss medication. A lot of them, they're like, what is this? Where is this place? And I'm recommending, there's this great doctor I go to. And so I won't do that anymore. Just take it with a grain of salt, not literally. The salted semaglutide compounds are not good, I think. But take it with a grain of salt. And I thought I was doing something a little bit more responsible because it wasn't just online. And maybe I should have gone with the Henry meds instead, because the Henry meds, I don't know if my experience would have been any better. I'm too scared to almost try anything anymore. Henry Meds has the pill form you dissolve under your tongue instead of the once weekly injections. Those pills are everyday dissolvable under the tongue. So I think the dosage, hopefully, I guess it's the same as Ribasis or whatever. Rybelsus, I might have that wrong, but maybe the dosage is lower, spread out, and maybe it won't cause as much sickness, but I don't know. At this point, as much success as I had with it last year, I just don't even want to go that route this year. I don't know. I'll just see. I pray to God for the strength to just try and eat salads and do it without it, because I never want to experience that sickness again. But thank God he's a healer. I mean, I just sat there and quoted, perfect love cast out all fear, and he sent his word and healed them. Like, I was up for hours and hours, and I didn't know how bad it was going to be. But it was a really disappointing response from, the nurse in the doctor's office. That part was sad. But that's why I'm not naming them, because whatever. People have different responses to it. I don't know if I'm just extra sensitive to it. You know, last year I lost 20 pounds in the first month with it, and I told the nurse that, and she's like, yeah, I know, because I was like, she's like, I've never seen that before. And now she's like, yeah, I've seen another woman, another girl, she's lost 20 pounds in the first month. So it's working well for some people. It's just not me this go around, too violently ill. But maybe the pill form would have been, because some people do split their semaglutide injection doses like in half C's or whatever through the week to lessen the reaction. I don't know. I don't want to touch any of that because I hate that feeling. So I felt a responsibility to tell you all, Yeah, I'd even kind of lost my voice from all the sickness. I was like, oh. I felt a responsibility to tell you all my response. And so if you do decide, really do it with caution and with a doctor and with the Lord's blessing. Okay, I gotta go on and film some true crime videos now, but thank you so much for watching.